Have you ever wondered how male-to-female gender confirmation surgery is actually done? It's a very delicate procedure that requires careful, step-by-step work. First, the surgeon removes the parts of the body that produce male hormones. Then, they carefully open and reshape the outer skin to create a new internal canal. During this process, a small portion of sensitive tissue is preserved and reconstructed, so the patient can still experience natural sensation. Next, the urethra is shortened and adjusted to function properly in its new position. The external tissue is then shaped into folds that resemble female anatomy, giving a natural look while maintaining proper function. Every cut and stitch has to be extremely precise to avoid nerve damage and ensure long-term results. The surgery usually takes several hours, and recovery can take a few months. For many patients, though, it's a life-changing step toward living as their true self. Have you ever wondered how doctors treat Hirschsprung disease? In this condition, part of a child's intestine doesn't have enough nerve cells, which means it can't move stool properly. The most common treatment is a surgery called a pull-through procedure. The idea sounds simple, but it requires very delicate work. The surgeon removes the section of intestine that isn't working, the part that can't move waste, and then connects the healthy intestine directly to the anus. During the surgery, doctors use tiny cameras and very precise instruments to carefully separate the diseased portion while protecting the surrounding healthy tissue. In some hospitals, this procedure can even be done using minimally invasive techniques with just a few small incisions, which can reduce pain and help the child recover faster. After surgery, the child is closely monitored to make sure the new connection heals well and the bowels start functioning normally. Most children recover well and can begin eating again within a few days. Over time, digestion and growth usually continue to improve. Some children may still experience issues like constipation or infection and may need additional care, but with proper treatment and follow-up, most kids go on to live healthy, active, normal lives.
Have you ever wondered how doctors remove tough, calcified blockages inside blood vessels without making a big incision? This technique is called rotational atherectomy. It's a minimally invasive procedure used to treat hard, calcified blockages that regular balloons or stents can't easily open, helping restore proper blood flow. At the start of the procedure, the doctor makes a small entry point in the wrist or groin, then inserts a thin catheter. With the help of real-time X-ray imaging, the catheter is guided through the blood vessels until it reaches the blocked area. At the tip of the catheter is a tiny diamond-coated rotating burr that spins at nearly 200,000 revolutions per minute. It grinds the hardened calcium into extremely small particles, which then move along with the bloodstream and are gradually cleared by the body. Once the rigid plaque is removed, the artery becomes softer and easier to open. At this point, the doctor can use a balloon or place a stent to fully restore normal blood flow. The entire procedure usually takes less than an hour, requires no large incision, and no stitches, making recovery much easier. Have you ever thought that a face transplant isn't just about swapping one face for another? It's actually far more complex than most people realize. This procedure is usually for patients who have suffered severe facial damage due to accidents or disease. Before the surgery begins, doctors need to find a donor whose facial structure and tissue closely match the recipient. In the operating room, two surgical teams work at the same time. One team removes skin, muscle, nerves, blood vessels, and sometimes even bone from the donor. The other team prepares the recipient by clearing away damaged tissue to make room for the new face. The most critical part is reconnecting tiny blood vessels and nerves. This step is like hooking up all the wires and plumbing for a new face, requiring incredible precision and patience. The entire surgery can take more than 20 hours. After the transplant, the patient must take anti-rejection medications for life. Recovery is long and challenging, involving ongoing rehab to relearn facial movements like smiling, blinking, and speaking. A face transplant isn't just a medical breakthrough. It gives patients a chance to start over. But it's still a major surgery with significant risks. Anyone considering this procedure should discuss it thoroughly with a qualified doctor to determine if it's the right choice.